Hey guys, welcome to the Touchdown Table. I'm Ryan, that's Tyler, that's Jordan. And in this video, we are going to be doing our NFC West predictions for the upcoming season. You know, the NFC West is a fun division, a lot of talent in that division, and a lot of different opinions about that division. So just to remind you how we predict divisions this year, we do 4,
Jordan,
3, 2, 1. Yeah, this is important for you, Jordan, because you didn't get this the
No,
first
I
time.
did. I got it. I just didn't.
So
No,
every person is going to say 4, 3, 2, 1. So the first team Jordan says is who he thinks is going to finish fourth, and the last team he says is who he thinks is going to finish first. Just so you don't think that we're picking like the Rams or the Cardinals, or I don't know, maybe someone will. To win, Jordan. Now that you know how this works, take it away.
Okay, well, as Ryan introduced very nicely, this is a very interesting division, and that's obviously why we're doing a video on it. Now, teams in this division, if you don't know, are the 49ers, the Seahawks, the Rams, and the Cardinals. All those teams are contenders in a lot of people's eyes. The Cardinals are one of those teams that are really shooting up right now. They got a lot of hype behind them. The Rams, they went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Last year was not their year. They ended up going 9-7 last year, which is not awful, but it's not great. And then the Seahawks and the 49ers both made the playoffs. As you probably know, 49ers went to the Super Bowl and ended up losing to Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. So, just a refresher on the division. Now I will start talking.
You've been talking for a while.
First of all, like I said before, this is a very tough division, and these could all be interchanged very much. This could go any certain way, but just for some reason, I don't seem to have confidence in this team this year. The team I think will finish fourth is the Los Angeles Rams. Now, they have a good team, but the thing is, there's not much hype behind this team right now. They got their new jerseys and stuff, and they got the new logo. That's really something that's really happened with them. But it just seems like this team has been kind of falling apart a bit. Todd Gurley is gone now. I don't seem to have that confidence in Jared Goff. I love Cooper Kupp. I think he can do some great things. Aaron Donald, obviously a headliner of that team, has that 99 overall rating, and Madden again. But I don't think that... I don't know. They could be good, but I'm just going to say they finished last because I don't have as much confidence in them as the rest of the teams in here. Now let's get to the next team on my list. At finishing 3 in the division, I am having the Arizona Cardinals finishing 3rd. I think they're going to have a good season, but there are just 2 really good teams in this division as well. So it's going to be a very tough division. I think the addition of D-Hop is going to be great. I think Kyler Murray is going to play better this year, but I don't think it's all going to come together just yet, so I think they're going to finish 3rd. Then let's go to who's going to finish 2nd, and we'll get to first. 2nd is actually going to be the person who finished 2nd last year in the NFL, if you want to put it that way, and it is the 49ers. I don't think that they are... What are you laughing at?
You called the 49ers a person.
That's funny. Well, technically.
They are people.
Well, they're not, people, but not a person. Go ahead.
Technically,
Hey, we've seen worse.
that's true. That is very true. So they finished 2nd in the league last year, but they're going to finish 2nd in their division this year. It's this again. I've kind of lost confidence in this team, but they've made so many interesting moves this offseason. Some good, some bad. They've lost some people. They gained some people. I'll talk about that later. But it's just hard for me to really stick with them right now. And personally, I'm not a huge believer in Jimmy Garoppolo. I think he'll do okay, but I don't think he's going to really take them that far unless that defense is as good as they were last year, and that's going to be hard to do that again. But hey, they got some good pieces. I love Nick Bosa, so I think they're going to finish 2nd. And then finishing 1st is obviously the team that's remaining is the Seattle Seahawks. They have my MVP prediction for this year, Russell Wilson, on their team. So I figured, okay, I have to put them at 1 because Russell's got to do it for me to get me correct. But I do like the Seahawks. I think they've been struggling for a bit. They made the playoffs, just haven't been able to do much with it. They have a great player in Russell Wilson. Tyler Lockett really turned it up. They got to get that running back position filled better. But I have the Seahawks barely squeaking into that 1 position. Now, I talk way longer than I should have. I do realize that, but go.
Well, thank you for that analysis, Jordan. And this is an interesting division, so I'm going to start now. And who finishes 4th in this division? After the way they embarrassed me, this team deserves to finish 4th, and that team is the Los Angeles Rams. In case you don't remember, I picked the Rams to win Super Bowl 54, and, well, they didn't even make the playoffs. So maybe now they'll win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, both my teams did make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's okay, but
one
still.
wasn't really my fault. I picked it before Andrew Luck retired, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, the Rams kind of embarrassed me, but who knows? Now that I'm picking them to finish last, maybe they'll win the division or more. But Jordan made a lot of good points. I just don't quite see a lot with this team. You know, some people leaving that were good in their run to the NFC Championship and into the Super Bowl. You know, Ty Gurley's gone, Brandon Cooks is gone. They do have Robert Woods, who I think is very underrated. The offensive line, still solid, but some people getting older. Defense, you got playmakers like Jalen Ramsey, Michael Brockers, obviously Aaron Donald, member of the 99 Club, and some promising young guys too, but I just do not quite see a way for the Rams to really have a lot of success this year.
There's just not a lot of confidence in this team
I agree. And like I said, you made a lot of good points. I say the Rams finish last. Now, third, I have got the Arizona Cardinals. You know, I feel like there's a lot of differing opinions on this team. Some people honestly think that this team could compete with the top two teams. Some people think that this team's overrated. I think I'm somewhere in between. If you've watched other videos on our channel, you know I have concerns about Kyler Murray long term. But I don't care who your quarterback is. If you get DeAndre Hopkins basically for free, your team's going to be better. And we know D-Hop's a top 3 receiver in the league, but look at some of the other guys. Christian Kirk, he's battled some injuries, but I think he has potential. Larry Fitzgerald still got great hands. Offensive line, I still have concerns. The defense, they got Isaiah Simmons who could play just about every position. They also have some other young playmakers on that team, but I still don't think they are quite on the same level as the other two teams that I'm about to name. And too. They got a lot of receivers last year. But now, second place, who is it going to be? This is really the highlight of the video.
Is he going to match me?
Second. Am I going to match you, Jordan?
No.
Yes, I am.
Oh,
the 49ers finish in second. If this team was just a little smarter, I think maybe I could pick them to finish
first. I can't
first.
tell the 49ers, I'm sorry to butt in, but I can't tell if the 49ers are smart. Like, they're really thinking around everything, or they're just kind of changing things up randomly when they just went to the Super Bowl. So.
Yeah. The Brandon Ayuk pick, one, they didn't need to trade up in the deepest wide receiver class.
It ended up paying out because they lost one of their wide receivers.
Well, yes,
they didn't
Deebo Samuel got hurt. They gave away Marquise Goodwin. They gave him away.
Yeah, but they didn't use him that much.
Still, they traded up 20 spots in the 6th round. Long snappers are getting drafted in the 6th round. I mean, come on, John Lynch, you're better than that.
Yeah,
that was really
that
was a head scratcher. I really didn't know how to react to that. So the receiving core is a little thin. Brandon Ayuk, I'm not as high on him as they were.
Yeah. The trade for Marquise Goodwin was, by the way, Marquise getting a 6th round pick in exchange for a 6th round pick.
Oh my God. It just sounds dumb. I'm sorry. I thought John Lynch was a great GM, but now after that I'm a little disappointed in him. But hey,
he should just swapped 6th round picks and said he would take Marquise Goodwin.
Yeah. But I do think this team will still make the playoffs in one of those 2 or 3 wild card spots now. The defensive line might be the best in the league. Nick Bosa, Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Javon Kinlaw, nice young player. Solomon Thomas. Some people are calling him a little bit of a bust, but I think he could bounce back. And they've got veteran playmakers like Quan Alexander and Richard Sherman. San Francisco doesn't win the division, but they make the playoffs and finish second. And obviously, I've got the Seahawks winning the NFC West. I think that Russell Wilson is going to have a great year. I think that you look at this team, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. You know Tyler Lockett has that great catch radius. DK Metcalf downfield.
You got that great catch radius, too.
What?
You got a great catch radius, too. That guy's huge.
Yeah, and then look at the tight ends. I know when people think about the NFC West and tight ends, they just think Kittle. And Kittle's great. Kittle's awesome. But, you know, Seattle, they got Will Disley. He got hurt last year, but he was doing some good things before. And then Hollister, decent guy. Colby Parkinson out of Stanford. He could be another playmaker. And then you also look at Greg Olsen. You know, he was with the Panthers.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, then broadcasted some XFL games, and then he went to the Seahawks. I like this Seattle team. I think they're the most complete team in this division because they also have a lot of defensive playmakers. Might not be quite as good as the Legion of Boom, but Seattle takes the NFC West crown.
Who wins? Can you say it again?
Seattle.
Just like the way you said it.
Oh.
Seattle. You say things like that, too, all the time. So.
I know, but I don't usually get
I
to
think
hear
that
other
the
people.
Seahawks are going to win the division. That's you.
I know that's how I talk, but it's just funny to hear from other people.
Anyways, it's my turn now.
I'm not going to sit here like...
long awaiting these two to finish talking, and I'm going to try and make it fast so we can get into open conversation. And I'm just going to express this now to you guys. For next time, I think we should do open conversation and then the picks. Because basically that's how this was going right now.
Whatever you say.
So we've talked about a lot already, and they did, so I'm kind of just going to roll through these puppies here and give a little bit of description. But in last place, I'm with both of these two. I'm going with the Rams in last place.
I will never forget that.
I don't like the direction their team is going right now. They're losing salary cap. and they don't seem to be generating the buzz that people were expecting to get once they moved to LA. I just am not a fan of this team in 2020, so I'm saying they are last and by a good margin. In third place, I'm putting the Arizona Cardinals in third place.
Are we going to get a three-peat across the table?
You will find out soon. The Arizona Cardinals
I don't think so.
are in third place. I think this is going to be... So this division is going to be the two front runners, which are the teams that I haven't named yet. And then the Cardinals right behind them, and then the Rams just way there. And I think the Cardinals, you guys discussed the potential that they have. I think they can maybe not live up to all the hype, but have a good season, get close to making the playoffs, or even make the playoffs. I'm not sure. This is going to be a competitive division. Mm-hmm. And then last of all, I have to name these final two teams, which I'm just going to do very quickly so that the suspense isn't there. So we're wondering if we have the same picks. And we are not going to have the same picks because I am going with the Seahawks very closely in second place. I like the Seahawks team very much. And the 49ers maybe just beat them by a game or something. I mean,
I think they play in Week 17 again.
I mean, it could be something that happens like last year where we saw it. Like that close. These two teams I think are going to be good for a while. Both have good leadership both on the team. And upwards of that with the GMs, except for the Seahawks in the first round. But I know I just like the direction these two teams are going. I think it's going to be a competitive division, especially with those two top teams going after each other.
Yeah, they do play Week 17, by the way. So
that's going to be real
this time in San Francisco.
All right. So now we could open up to an open conversation if we have anything else left to say, because you guys kind of beat it all in the head.
Yeah. Let's just run through each team for a second, just say a quick thoughts about them. Let's start with the team that we all had finishing at fourth. And that is the Los Angeles Rams. Now, as I said, as always, we all said, really, is that there's not much hype behind this team. There's not much to get behind right now. Jared Goff, he's been playing fine, but he's not something to, go out and you're watching him anymore. Yeah. Maybe, a few years ago.
Once they paid him.
Yeah, we still don't know who the real Jared Goff is.
Exactly. He kind of just went down. Now, I love watching guys like Cooper Kupp. I think Cooper Kupp's a great player. Robert Woods is a great player.
Very underrated.
On that offense, both of them are very underrated, but it just seems like they can't put it together. It seemed like that one season with Sean McVay where it just seemed like it was all going together and they lost to the Falcons. I remember I was in, where was I? Bahamas.
Yes.
For that game. I remember I was laying on an air mattress watching that game.
We were both very disappointed.
The Rams.
We wanted the Rams to win.
Yeah. Anyways, and also they need to get that running back situation figured out. They have Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson, who they drafted last year. Two younger guys, so that should be fun to watch. Any more thoughts from you guys?
I think you said it very well.
Good. We talked about it a lot earlier, too. So.
Yeah. Now let's move on to the Arizona Cardinals. So this one we could go long into, but we feel like we talked about the Cardinals a lot.
Once again, we talked about them. Really, just when it comes to the Cardinals, you just look at the potential that they have and whether they can live up to it or not.
They could finish at one in this division.
I mean,
they could.
I think that's a little bit of a stretch.
They could.
Pump the brakes.
It's a stretch, but
me personally, I don't think they will. None of us, honestly,
if they completely live up to their potential, they could win the division.
Yeah, maybe.
Their ceiling is high.
Yes.
But there's also a lot of hype on that ceiling.
Yeah.
So obviously the hype coming from D-Hop, Kyler Murray, all those things.
They just acquired a consensus top 3 receiver. I think everyone thinks D-Hop except for Chris Sims, but that's I don't even want to talk about that. That was weird. But
what do you do? We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Most people think that DeAndre Hopkins is a top 3 wide receiver. So there's going to be some hype, but with a young team and a younger coach like Cliff Kingsbury, will they be able to live up to it? I don't really think so, but we'll have to wait and see.
Let's move on to the next team.
All right,
well, which we were different here.
We'll just go in the order from last year.
Let's go.
Oh,
last year's
Well,
order?
It doesn't matter. Now just go from last year. So.
Okay, well, I'll just do the Seahawks first. Okay. We kind of talked about the Seahawks a lot. I said everything I had to say.
Yeah.
Whoa, I actually said I have nothing else to say.
I just think they're a little more complete, and I think those receivers are better.
Yeah, and I will say the one problem I have with the Seahawks offense is I feel like they run too much. They have one of the better quarterbacks in the league, top 3 in my opinion, in Russell Wilson. They need to give him the ball earlier on in the game. It's really frustrating to watch them, and I know they can pound you with the run game, but it's frustrating to watch them get down by 10 points.
Yeah,
and then he likes to run the ball.
Yeah. Oh, they got Carlos Hyde too, by the way, underrated.
But it's frustrating to watch them get down by 10 points, and there's 5 minutes left in the game, and then they go, Russell, go get us out of this, and he does it because he's a great quarterback.
He doesn't always run the ball, though. You know, there are certain times in certain games, certain years ago, where they didn't always run the ball.
I know what you're
Especially with the one of the best running backs of all time
Yeah.
in those situations.
He's
I do
back.
think there'll be a few games for the Seahawks where their defense just
He's
is
back.
not good, but Russell bails them out and helps them win. So I think
Happens
we'll
a lot,
definitely
yeah.
see that. Like I think like the Seahawks Buccaneers game last year, like I think we'll see some
Yeah.
more stuff like that.
All right, let's get to the
All
final
right,
one.
last team is the 49ers. They are a somewhat interesting one. They've made some interesting moves. As I said before, some of their losses, Marquise Goodwin,
Yeah.
Joe Staley, who retired,
Yeah, they got Trent Williams though.
Yeah.
Did anyone mention that?
DeForest Buckner. I was going to mention that in this. So they lost a tackle. They got Trent Williams.
Mm-hmm.
They lost a defensive tackle.
They
They
got
got Javon Kinlaw.
Mm-hmm.
And they lost a wide receiver. They got who they said was the best wide receiver in this draft class in Brandon Ayuk.
No,
Who I can't
never
back
know.
because I didn't watch Brandon Ayuk. I watched most of them. I just didn't get to watch Brandon Ayuk, so I can't really say it.
I did like what I saw from Brandon
Yeah,
Ayuk. but
maybe
I think
as a
the raw
second-round
sheer talent
player.
of other. I wasn't too surprised when I saw him on the first. I just didn't expect him to trade up for him.
Yeah, you don't. It's the deepest wide receiver class in recent memory. Why you need to trade up and why you give away Marquise Good? I don't know.
Yeah, so they had some losses, but they also filled those holes again with maybe some newer players who they don't need to pay anymore.
Mhm.
I think it was a really smart move to get rid of DeForest Buckner and
I
then
agree.
sign Javon
Yeah.
Kinlaw on a rookie
Probably
contract.
cheaper.
That's really going to save them when they need to go back to sign someone like Nick Bosa. You know, Javon Kinlaw will be a year after that. They're going to want to give him his money, I'm assuming. So that really helped them out.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be an interesting team. I don't think they've changed too much. They kind of changed too much, but yet they haven't changed.
No, they're kind of
They have the same core. It's just
Yeah.
different people.
They're kind of
I
a
guess.
evolutionary team in general. They kind of that's.
They
Kind
also
of what they
lost running backs.
do.
I forgot to say that.
Yeah.
They lost running backs
Yeah.
too.
Okay, so I think there it is.
Yeah.
So that was the NFC West predictions from us in terms
I know,
of 1,
it's
2,
like
3, 4,
someone
or
like
4,
that.
3, 2, 1 is the order we did it in.
Yeah.
Not exact record predictions, but we'll probably get to that later on in the
What running backs
offseason.
did they lose?
As we search for more
Oh,
content.
no,
to
someone
post.
wanted to trade.
Mostert.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you guys for watching this video.
That's what
Make
it
sure to
was.
like this video, subscribe to our channel. Comment your opinions about these teams down
You like
below.
this video? You like this video?
Yeah.
If you like this video, make sure to like it.
Hit the like button. And with that, make sure to comment, as I said. With that, we will see you guys later.
See ya.